Where are you at right now? What town are you in?
I am in Wichita.
Okay, now, did you guys do Sturgis and whatnot?
We did. That was a couple of days ago.
Yeah, you got this other biking event coming up here, the Easy Rider Rodeos on Saturday, August 19th. And it's funny because you guys will be playing with Puddle of Mud, so you better brush up on your Puddle of Mud songs because you never know what's going to happen that night.
Yeah, I know, man. It's always crazy stuff with OS. Someone just let me know he missed a show like a day or two ago, so I don't know what's going on with him and why he seems to have so much trouble showing up sometimes. Poor guy. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I think we know what the problem is, but it's like we'll just leave it there.
I don't like to just assume to know, but he's a cool guy. He's a nice guy. Hung out with him plenty and had lots of fun, lots of laughs, but. I guess at some point you have to be able to rein it in a little bit. He just hasn't found that way to kind of cut himself off sometimes. I don't know, man.
Yeah. Have you ever been that far down that road where you had to rein it in?
Yeah, but not for long, I've never gone some huge stretch. Now I've had, like a couple of days, like one day turn into 3 days before, but that's about the extent of it. I've, after a while, I think I just run out of gas, man. I'm just like, you know what? I'm done. The biggest thing back in the day, it's been a while, but we used to, rage pretty hard over at Vinnie Paul's house. Mm-hmm. And so you try to survive there for a couple of days. Like when you need a break, like try to sleep in the bathtub or something so nobody can find you to make you do a shot. And then, get up and keep doing it. And then it was always the trick to, when you finally leave out of there, you got to make sure you're home before the sun comes up, because it's the worst feeling in the world, man, after partying hard for a night or two and then trying to get home to go to bed. If that sun beats you up, man, it's the worst feeling. It's like, that's where the myth of vampires comes from. I'm convinced, man, that once that sun raises, dude, instantly you just feel like total shit. Like 5 minutes ago, it was dark, I was partying, having a great time. Now the sun's coming up and I feel like ass.
I know it's tough. I've had a few of those nights too, where it's like you get home and like the sun starts coming up, and you got to get to sleep before the sun comes up.
Exactly. It's like kryptonite, dude.
I'm with you, man. No doubt. It's been a little while, I think, since I've done that, but there's been days. There's been times I've hung out with Kid Rock before, and I've got home and the sun was up for like hours already. So those are those are tough, But I'll never.
But no one ever said, hey. Let's be sober and chat, and still be talking about it 5 to 10 years later,
Right. Yeah, what they say, no good story starts with a salad, right? I was eating a salad, so.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah, but, I remember you telling me about the stories that are legendary about when you guys were touring with Pantera back in the day and stuff, and you had to sneak out of the buses or else Dimebag would find you and start, pouring shots down your throat, huh?
Oh, yeah, man. I mean, everything, not just the partying, drinking aspect of it, but every aspect of touring and the music business and being able to have fun and keep everything in perspective, we learned it all from Dime. He was the master of, being able to just have like the most outrageous, crazy time, but then get up there on stage the next night and just freaking kill it, So to see him do it, to learn from him, man, that's... Sorry, yeah, of course. That was the best shit in the world, man.
I can imagine you have tons of Dimebag stories, huh?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that dude was one of a kind, bro.
Yeah.
Never, there'll never be anybody like that dude again, man. He was just, like, I know lots of guys that can go hard, party, and have fun, but no one else did it in the same happy-go-lucky, always in a great mood, never had a bad word to say about anyone, but also, like the most talented, on top of the world kind of dude. Usually those two things don't mix, Usually
right.
If someone's like virtuoso, awesome musician type dude, they usually turn out to be a douchebag. Or the other way around, or the nicest guys in the business, they suck.
Yeah, they're just not that good, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's why they have to be nice. But Dime was like the rare exception, man. He was both all the time.
Yeah, that guy, man. Looking back, I was just talking to Vinnie Paul about this a little while ago. That 25th anniversary of Vulgar Display is this year, and it's like, it's like, man, it's such a great record. It's like, and his sound and the band's sound was so great.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude, that record. That was, seeing them from the very beginning. Like the clubs in Dallas back in the day, and when they finally came out with Cowboys from Hell, I thought, I thought that was the pinnacle. Like, that was the greatest thing I had ever heard in my freaking life. So you can imagine when, the next record comes out, it just was unbelievable. Like, I could not believe that someone was able to go back and pop a record that was that great.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I hear you.
Usually, like, the follow-up usually kind of falls off a little bit, and maybe they get it back together for the third record. That you see that trend happen so often. But to have that next record be just off the charts, I was hooked. Like, that was my jam, bro.
Well, 25 years ago, a lot of stuff happened. Of course, the Metallica record had come out the year before, the Guns N' Roses, Nirvana, Pearl Jam, all that kind of stuff. And I was thinking about this earlier before I talked to you. Do you ever think that we'll see, do you foresee anything coming as far as a music shift like that again? I mean, it's like that whole 1992, it started in 1991. In 1992, everything broke loose.
Dude, I seriously doubt it. There's just not, there's not the music business infrastructure anymore to, I'm sure there's going to be people make lots of really, really great records, but I don't think culturally they'll be able to make the same impact as a lot of those records made. Just, there's just too much out there, too easy to get. Everything, I just don't see that eureka moment like that happening anymore. Everything is, no matter what I hear, even if it's new, I feel like I've already heard it 1,000 times because it's on everything, Facebook and YouTube and Spotify, and it's sensory overload. It's hard to really, maybe it's just my age, but even when I find a record that I love, that I think is awesome, it still doesn't have the same impact on me as it did back then. And either it's because I'm older and jaded, or there's just so many records that it's hard to really have that type of impact anymore. Yeah, maybe they're going to have to hire some people a lot smarter than me to figure that out, what the answer is, because I don't know. I just know that, to answer your question, I can't imagine that ever happening again. We saw it, in the 60s it happened with the British invasion. It was huge.
Right.
Then the late 60s, early 70s, with metal, with Sabbath and Zeppelin and all that, we saw it happen again. And then there was the 80s with hair metal, we saw it happening. And then there was the time you're talking about with, the Pantera record and Alice in Chains and all that stuff. But it hasn't happened, not that I can think of. I can't think of a huge movement like that since then. Yeah, Go ahead.
No, I was going to say around the turn of the century, they had the new metal type of thing with the metal hip hop thing, but that didn't really explode, like the grunge thing did.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. If it's going to happen, I can tell you that we're far overdue for it happening.
Yeah. Now, speaking of the new metal and stuff, of course, I've been asking people about this a lot this year, unfortunately, but Chris Cornell passed away right here in Detroit. And then, Chester Bennington. Did you know either one of these guys?
Well, I didn't know Chris Cornell, even though I really wish I did, because I was a huge, huge fan. But, Chester, we did Ozfest 2001.
Yeah, right when both of you guys were starting out. Yeah, sure.
So we spent a lot of time hanging out, and he never struck me as someone with any type of depression or anything. You know, he was always. I guess people that are like that, you know, they put on, you know, a happy face.
Right.
And that's the only face that I ever knew. You know, the guy I knew was always just happy and chatting and just having a great time. I guess, you know, you just never know, man. Because when I heard it happening, like I had to call like 10 mutual people that I knew, or maybe not 10, maybe 5. Because I couldn't believe that was really, that he actually did that, you know? Because it just wasn't the same person that I knew. And, you know, it so close to the same way it happened with Cornell, so close together. And I was like, this has got to be like some kind of Facebook hoax or something.
Yeah, on Chris Cornell's birthday.
Yeah, exactly.
Man.
I was like, this has got to be some fake thing, man. There's no fucking way.
Yeah. Yeah, did you guys stay in touch? I mean, obviously you guys went your separate ways. I mean, they exploded. You guys exploded, probably went in different directions like that. Did you guys happen to stay in touch, or was the 2001 tour with Ozfest pretty much like
no, we had lots of occasions over the years where we were playing the same festivals.
Oh, okay.
You know, it's not like we ever went out and, like, you know, did a huge tour together after that.
Right.
But I did see them in, like, a lot of radio shows, or, you know, a bunch of festivals in Europe, stuff like that. So I did see them quite a bit for a while, but it had been quite a long time. I can't even remember the last time that we hung out. I know it was in Europe somewhere, but I can't think of where. So, you know, it's not like we were like super tight buddies and like I could have been someone that he called up to, you know, unload on or, you know, tell his troubles to, you know, so in that way, I guess I am able to avoid some of the guilt that probably people close to him feel right now. You know, if it was someone close to me that did that, I would feel guilty for the rest of my life thinking, man, why didn't I see it? Why didn't he tell me? Why didn't I ask? So I feel really bad for you know, his close friends and family.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a weird year as far as rock and roll is concerned. And actually the last couple of years has been kind of strange, you know?
Yeah.
Man.
It definitely has, man. You know, it's crazy to think all those huge grunge bands that came out, you know, all those guys are gone now.
Yeah, just about. Yeah, with the exception of Pearl Jam, I guess. That's about it.
Yeah.
You know,
right.
And some of the lower level grunge ones. But hey, let's switch gears here a little bit and talk about what your band has going on. I saw it on Instagram. You guys played a Gitmo gig last month. How was that?
It was great, man. The guys and girls stationed there, you know, they party hard, man. They came out and it was a big show. It was 4th of July, man.
Oh, that's cool.
Crazy fireworks and, you know, people USA chants and all. It was extremely patriotic, man. It was crazy. And people always ask, no, we did not play bodies for any prisoners there. and that part the camp is far, far away from where we were playing, so no one had to be tortured listening to bodies. So it's all good.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I know people like, I don't know. I'm kind of over that whole conversation as far as I'm concerned. It's like, you know, let the military, you know, do whatever. But anyways, anyhow, my cousin was actually stationed there for a little while. It's funny because I tell people my cousin was there and they think he was like, you know, locked up, but he was actually stationed there. And he got me this really kick-ass like Gitmo radio T-shirt, you know, from their radio station. I guess he got an on-base radio station. Yeah, you do got one. It's cool, huh?
Rocking in Castro's backyard.
Yeah.
Like
yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. Yeah, rocking in Fidel's backyard, I think it says.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so cool, man. I love that shirt. But yeah, that must have been a great experience. Have you guys played at Gitmo before?
Yeah, we have. It was a few years ago. We actually played, it was us and Puddle of Mud.
Okay.
That's the last time I saw Wes. It was probably about 4 years ago.
Well, you might see him next week, Saturday, this weekend, I should say, Saturday, August 19th at Easy Riders Rodeo. We'll see what happens.
I hope I do, man. I hope people aren't disappointed. I hope he shows up, man.
You know what? I've talked about this before, man. You know what? The guy's always been really nice to me. I got nothing but fond memories of the guy. I haven't seen him in a long time, but yeah, he's definitely got to seek some help or something. Something's going on there. So
yeah, he needs to get his career on track a little bit. You know, he's got to realize you're lucky to be able to do this for a living. You know, you don't piss it all away, man.
Yeah, no doubt. And speaking of doing this for a living, it seems like every summer you guys are doing this Make America Rock Again tour, and it's got to be cool. I mean, just you have to look forward to summertime, going out and playing these outdoor festivals. I just saw the other night Stone Sour for the second time, by the way, in a week, and an outdoor fest, and an outdoor festival, and I thought it was so great. It's like those are the memories, in February when I'm going to be thinking back to summertime. We saw Metallica outdoors, but talk about playing these outdoor sheds and touring the country in the summertime.
Oh man, the shows are amazing. It's the best time of the year. Well, for you guys, y'all have like winter.
Right.
I don't know why you endure that. That's on you. Like in Texas, we stay pretty warm.
Right.
12 months out of the year.
Yeah.
So it's always like a summer tour for us. But yeah, man, like you said, the shed tours in the summertime, that's when everybody comes out, has the most fun. That's, in my life touring, that's always been, we've been fortunate enough to do, like this Make America Rock thing. We get to do a lot of bike festivals. We've done Crew Fest. We've done Ozfest. Dude, those are my greatest memories. When I'm like 80 in a rocking chair and can't move, I'll just sit there and think about, oh yeah, man, I remember this one after party in Tommy Lee's tent. Oh man, damn. And I'll just sit there,
Well, stop thinking about it. What happened in Tommy Lee's tent? I want to hear about this now.
Dude, well, on Crew Fest, after every show, Tommy Lee would set up this, like, they had this huge tent, and it was like, imagine, like, walking into, like, some Arab prince, his palace or something.
Uh-huh.
There's like rugs and beanbags everywhere, and a bunch of Jaeger tap machines and all that kind of stuff. And of course, like if there was a hot chick in the crowd, I swear to God, somehow Tommy Lee had someone out there finding them and bringing them back. So you just walk in, and it's like walking into like the best strip club you've ever been in your entire life. But the booze but the chicks and the booze are free.
Ah, there you go.
So I was like, oh my God, I never want this tour to end. And you feel like you're part of nostalgia, because everyone knows like the Motley Crue party stories, from back in the day. So, I got to feel like I was a little bit part of that, even though I missed it when it first happened. I was kind of, but I was starting to get in there and play a little catch up,
That's cool. So did you make it a point to go to this after party after every show?
Anytime I was physically able. There were a few that I missed because I was still hurting from the one before. But yeah, anytime I could stand it, I was in there for sure, man. It was so much fun. You didn't want to miss it.
That's awesome. That was a tour in the late 2000s, right? 2009 or something, 2010, something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
The years run together, but yeah, man, that tour was so much fun.
Yeah, another great shed tour right there. But, man.
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable. Hey, last time I talked to you on the show here, it was right after the guy sang, Bodies on America's Got Talent. What kind of bump did you guys get from that?
We had a lot of fun with it. The guy was super cool. It was fun to see him at 80 years old come out and play Rockstar.
Right.
He's like, give me some shots of vodka. I'm going to sign some boobs. Oh, dude, he was killing it, bro.
Nice.
So I'll see him. We see him in a couple of days. We're playing Colorado Springs. and he's coming out because he lives in that area.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the middle of the country. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so he's going to come and hang, try to drink us all under the table
again, right? Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's former military too, right?
Man. Yeah, he was like a Navy pilot, and then he worked at NASA.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Did all this super crazy smart stuff, and now he's 82 singing bodies. So.
That's
Done
cool.
It all, man.
Hey, recently Rolling Stone did this thing, and I've been asking some of the guys I've been talking to about records that kind of changed their life or maybe sculpted their musical landscape growing up. They were doing like a thing on you can name your top 10 metal albums if you want to, but what are some of the records that you listened to growing up as a kid? I talked to Head last week. He said Back in Black was his record. What was yours?
Man, the ones that really made a difference. First, man, when I was a young kid, I'm talking preteen, I was really into the Beatles, and my parents mostly listened to country. So the only music that I even knew existed was either my parents' country music, which I didn't like, or the Beatles. To me, the Beatles that was rock.
Right.
And then one day, a friend gives me a cassette tape, and it's got Metallica Kill 'Em All on it. And I was just freaking blown away. So I got to throw in those early Metallica records, like Kill 'Em All, Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets. Those were huge for me. The first Pantera records were freaking huge for me. The Alice in Chains record, I love that one. The Alice in Chains record and the Soundgarden record, those are probably the only, I missed a huge part of, the whole grunge thing, Pearl Jam and Nirvana. I was not, a huge fan. To me, those were more, kind of pop rock records.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I'm with you on that one. Yeah. Which Alice in Chains record are you talking about, Facelift or Dirt?
Facelift.
Okay.
To me, that was a metal record. And,
yeah.
And the first Soundgarden record, those were metal records. I listened to those two records and, Pantera, and to me, that was all metal.
Mm-hmm.
So that was, really, my big musical sculpting time. Those early Pantera records, the early Alice in Chains record, early Soundgarden records, that's when I knew, I wanted to be a metal guy. So
and what made
I was locked in there.
And what made you decide to pick up a bass?
Well, I didn't even really know the difference when I first started. I just realized that my favorite guy in every band was always the bass player.
Oh, really?
Steve Harris,
yeah.
Cliff Burton, Rex,
Nikki Sixx.
I like Nikki Sixx, yeah.
If you would had better after show parties, you'd probably like them more, right?
Yeah. But everybody loved Tommy Lee, man. Everybody,
right.
Molly. But anyway.
I'm just teasing you. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No. So yeah, I was like, man, okay, so those guys play bass. Well, I guess I'll play bass, and it was just that easy.
Yeah, you a fan of I don't know, a Geddy Lee or a Billy Sheehan or any of those kind of guys?
I did get to be later. I wasn't at first. At first, I just wanted to stand there with my bass, just kind of rumble and play thrash songs. That's all I cared about doing. But then later, as you learn and get better and better, you start looking for other things and bass players to emulate or rip off or whatever you want to call it. And of course, that's going to lead you to those guys, which are your virtuoso,
like Les Claypool or something.
Oh yeah, that crazy stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, those guys are just amazing. I could never hope to be able to pull off some of the crazy stuff that they do, but it's if you're a musician, always keep trying, always keep reaching for that,
Yeah. Some people say that Master of Puppets, is one of maybe the best metal record ever. Where would you rank that one? You think that's up there near the top?
I'd put it very, very high. My only complaint, of course, being a bass player about Master of Puppets is They really, really buried the bass on that.
Yeah, a little thin, yeah.
Yeah.
Man, some great songs.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. Awesome songs, man.
What about any new bands or new music you into? You hear anything that you like? I know you were talking about earlier before that you know, maybe not, some of the records you can, sit there and go through, but have you heard anything that you like lately?
I like this band a lot called Knocked Loose.
Knocked Loose, okay.
Knocked Loose, like somebody. Like
Knocked Loose, okay.
Got your tooth knocked loose or something?
Oh, okay, all right. Huh, okay.
I mean, they're not like a signed band or anything, but there's a young kid. He's probably like 16, lives in my neighborhood, and he always comes by and talks music. And he was like, "Man, a friend of a friend has this demo of this band in Kentucky," and he was like, "Man, well, you should check it out." And I was like, "All right, I'll check it out." And I was like, "Holy shit. This is pretty awesome."
Really?
So I've been digging that record a lot lately. I don't even think they're signed. But
what about some stuff we might have heard about? Any bands that are signed and touring and doing anything right now? Like, have you heard the new Mastodon record?
Oh yeah. Mastodon's great. Yeah. Oh yeah, I thought you were talking about stuff more obscure. Sorry.
No. Like stuff that we would have heard So I've talked about this a billion times. People are probably bored about this, but I got it into vinyl this year again, and I'm buying all this stuff on vinyl. And you were talking about earlier about you don't know if you can sit through all this stuff. I'll tell you what, I throw a vinyl record on and I listen to the whole thing as I'm doing other things, like playing pool or working out or whatever the case is. And Highly Suspect, I think, is great. I think the new Pretty Reckless is great. That Mastodon is great. Some different records like that, and it's kind of almost reinvigorated my love of music and discovering other things. I've discovered Yes records I never had. Jeff Tate got me onto that. Some other guys got me into Genesis. All this crap. I'm like, now I'm like going crazy with that. Johnny Chow got me into that. You know Johnny? From Stone Sour. He's a bass player. You should look him up.
Oh, yeah. Okay. And so it's all through vinyl?
Yeah. I started out with zero. Now I got to do Metallica. I'm buying all this new crap. Kid Rock sent me all of his stuff. It's like I got all these records now, and it's like, man, I just tell you, I love it. I don't think a day's gone by in the last 4 months I haven't put a record on, even today. Dude,
I agree with you. Vinyl's freaking awesome, man. That's the way to go, bro.
Man, I love it. So
yeah, it makes it, more of an experience, man. I don't know. Maybe it's because it reminds me of being a kid with the record. I don't know, but I do the same thing at home, dude. I would much rather, if I'm at home just chilling, I would much rather listen to something on vinyl.
Yeah, the problem is some of these records, like I think I paid $36 for the Mastodon record. They're so expensive.
Oh, shit, yeah. Yeah, dude, there's not many places left that press them, so.
Well, I think they're going to start making some more now because the demand is starting to go up, and now they're going to start, to ramp it up. But I've been going and buying like these used records and stuff, and some are in really great shape, and they sound awesome. And I've got some just over the weekend that were like brand new. I'm like, this is great,
Yeah.
So.
Like, probably, we were on tour in Europe one time, and I stopped into they had this little boutique record store, and I dropped in, and I was looking through vinyls, and I found a couple of old Beatles records that were, the labels were printed wrong, so it was like, nothing you could ever find in the U.S., so I was like, wow, this is obscure. You're never going to find this again. So they was pretty pricey. So I bought these Beatle records. And, of course, we're over there in Europe, so we're using rented gear. So for the last show, I didn't want anything to happen to these records. So I stick them in this road case. Totally fucking forgot about them. Get home. I'm like, damn it. I spent all that money for those rare Beatles records, and they're fucking gone. Shit. So 10 years go by, bro. I shit you not. And we're playing a festival in Europe on rented gear, and a dude walks up and goes, hey, man, I think these are yours. Gave me those fucking records.
Really?
I couldn't, yeah.
What records were they? What records? Which ones?
Okay, it were before the movie Help came out in the U.S., the original title for the movie was going to be 8 Arms to Hold You.
Oh, okay.
So before they changed the name, in Europe, they had printed some soundtrack records with that title on it.
Nice.
And of course, then they tried to recall it all and re-put it out with a new title on it. So it's basically the Help soundtrack, but on my records it says 8 Arms to Hold You.
Now, I was just listening, actually, just today, I was listening to, what was it, with Hey Jude and stuff like that. I'm sorry, Let It Be. I was listening to Let It Be. And it's like, so, all right, here, I'll tell you what, I'll throw this out at you. What's the quintessential Beatle record for you? Like, what's the one that you could pick?
That's impossible to choose, bro. That's impossible. I love them all so. Like, I could get down to every little detail about every Beatle record and talk for days about it. Now, I do have a prepared answer for this because I've been asked this before. So if I had to pick one Beatle record, it would be the White Album because it's a double record.
Huh. Wow, that's a good answer, yeah. See, I'm kind of an Abbey Road Slappy or Sgt. Pepper guy, but yeah, the White Record's good, you know.
Dude.
But the second side of Abbey Road might be the most perfect second side of an album I've ever heard.
Oh, yeah, dude. It is. I mean, and it ends with the end. I mean, come on.
And then Her Majesty, yeah. And it's like, yeah.
But hey, here's the thing about it. Her Majesty is an edit.
Oh, is that right?
An edit from an earlier piece. Because if you listen to Her Majesty, you know it ends with a big... It starts like that, with a... You can take that edit and put it in that medley that comes in the middle of the record. That's where it originally falls in.
Oh, is that right?
But later, after the record was done, they edited it out and moved Her Majesty to the very end.
We should just do a Beatle podcast, and you should be the
Dude, we should. We should.
Hey, I'll tell you what, I could talk to you all day, and I don't want to waste too much more of your time, but I was talking to my friend, Matt Dorito from Pop Evil.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he said, I said, yeah, I'm going to be talking to Stevie later on tonight. What do you got for him? He goes, yeah, ask him about end of the tour pranks.
Yeah, oh, my God.
Did you get him good, or did he get you guys good, or what?
No, it was the end of the tour. So while they were on stage, we got this big inflatable, like, kid swimming pool.
Okay.
And put it on their bus, and it took us, like, an hour and a half to fill the whole thing with water. And so when they get done, we're all, got our swimsuits on, kicked back in the pool on their bus, waiting for them to get off. So they come in and we got like this pool party happening on their bus. So it was great. It was all fun. Everybody's having fun. Everybody's splashing around. Chicks taking off their tops and diving in the water, and people having a great time. And then their fucking bus driver showed up. That dude was so fucking mad, dude. Oh, he shows up. He's ready to go. He probably just woke up. He's tired. He's got a fucking giant swimming pool on his bus. Dude was pissed.
How many years ago was this?
Oh, this is like a couple of years ago. Maybe a year, maybe 2.
That's hysterical.
Not that long ago.
Yeah, I just saw those guys over the weekend, and I'm going to go motorcycle riding with Matt next week because I'm off. But yeah, I'm going to try to get my motorcycle up to Easy Riders Rodeo. See you guys on Saturday, August 19th with Puddle of Mud, and that should be great. Right. I think you guys go on about 8 o'clock or so, and I might be able to get up there. Normally there's NASCAR and a lot of things going on that weekend, but it looks like next weekend I might be able to skate out after dinner time and head out to see you guys. So.
All right, dude. Well, shoot me a text when you get up there. You can come chill up on the bus, man. Take it easy.
As long as there's no inflatable, pools with water in them.
I'm not making any promises.
Now the chicks with, topless chicks, that's okay. That's.
Hey, bring your swim trunks, man, just in case.
Stevie, you're the man.
Dude, it's great to talk to you as always, brother. Thank you.
Love talking to Stevie from Drowning Pool. Go check those guys out here in Detroit at Fowlerville. Easy Riders Rodeo coming up on Saturday, August 19th. Otherwise, check them out on tour wherever they're going to make America rock again with Scott Stapp and a bunch of other bands. In the meantime, like I was saying before, guys, subscribe to this podcast. We've got some really killer ones coming up here for you in a little bit. And, of course, check back in on my Twitter. I post all of these up there at Meltdown WRIF. I'm on vacation. What am I doing working? I'm out of here. Thanks so much for checking out the podcast.